Hi everyone, this is Jamie Wagner and I'm here for my second book presentation with my little squash friend here that you'll learn about in a second. I'm going to talk about the book Sophie's Squash and just to show how much my kids love this book. Last time we went to the grocery store, they both wanted their own butternut squash to hold for a minute, just like Sophie in the book. So, Sophie's Squash is a really sweet picture book. It's by Pat Zietlow Miller and Ann Wilsdorf, and it qualifies as a picture book because, as you'll see, the pictures take up most of one or both pages, even spread across, and the text is pretty minimal. You can see that the pictures show the emotion that the characters are experiencing in the book, as well as add necessary detail to establish the setting and the feelings and the plot movement. So this book is about a little girl named Sophie that's probably 4 or 5 years old, and she and her family go to the farmer's market, and Sophie picks out a butternut squash. Not to eat, mind you, but to be her own special little friend. It's really sweet because Bernice is the right size to fit in her arms, the right size to bounce on her knee, and just the right size to love. I'm glad we met, Sophie whispered. Good friends are hard to find. And so Sophie uses markers to give her friend a face. So I have our little markered up squash there. Oh, there we go. And she wraps it in a blanket and rocks it to sleep. So, but Mom knows getting ready for dinner and is like, hey, the squash, perfect. And Sophie says, I named her Bernice. And so Mom decides, okay, we're ordering pizza tonight while they figure out what to do next. Sorry, a bit of a cold. So Sophie takes Bernice everywhere, to the library, to visit other squash at the farmer's market. They roll down the hill by the garden. They just have a grand old time. And her parents are beside themselves, wondering what to do, because they know, as you do too, that squash don't stay firm forever. They warn Sophie, okay, he's gonna get blotchy, he's gonna get mushy, it's just, she's not gonna be cute anymore. And Sophie's like, no, she's perfect, she's never gonna change. So, time goes on, they try to persuade her with new toys, but Sophie just is determined that Bernice is perfect for her and will never be any different. And but things do start to change. You can see Bernice kind of getting blotchy and not still cute, but looking kind of interesting. So and Sophie starts to notice that Bernice is softer. They can't roll down the hill together like they used to. But she thinks, the farmer's market guy probably has some answers for me. He knows about vegetables. So she takes Bernice back to the farmer, and he says, you know what she needs? Fresh air, good clean dirt, and a little love. And Sophie thought, well, I have all that. And so she takes Bernice back home and plants her in the garden under the dirt to be nice and warm. The weather changes, it snows, and she's a little bit concerned about Bernice, but her mother says, you know what, Bernice is just fine. And Dad brings home a fish to help Sophie feel a little better. And Sophie realizes that, hey, that fish is probably pretty good listener. And so she shares all about the adventure she had with Bernice, just waiting for spring to come again. And then I love this page because the pictures are it's completely spread across. They're very soft drawings. So it's just, you can just feel this newness of life and excitement and just the hope that Sophie has. And lo and behold, there is a little sprout. And she said, "Bernice, how was your winter?" And again, she spends all the time she can, tea parties, and there's her little fish along for that adventure. And then she notices as Bernice's plant gets bigger that there is a surprise there. 2 little baby squash. And I love this part. She says, "Wow, you look just like your mom." So sweet. And as those little squashes grow, eventually Sophie picks them and of course names them. Bonnie and Baxter were just the right size for Sophie to hold in her arms and bounce on her knee. Just the right size to love. So it's just a beautiful, sweet book about, imagination of children, how they can find friendship in random things. But their big hearts allow them to love things that we might not consider lovable. But my kids love this book. My sister actually recommended it to us over and over and over again, and finally I just bought it. I was like, I don't even know what this is, but you keep saying that I need to read it. And I really recommend anyone that wants to read a sweet children's picture book like this one. Sophie Squash is a really great choice. Thank you.